The next time I woke, I was in a small open-plan ward with 5 beds. It would have been 6, but that space was taken up by the patient's toilet, accessible for use 24/7. At this stage, there were only 2 other patients. Chris, who was opposite, had liver problems and was quite jaundiced, and on my left was an elderly man whose name escapes me. He'd come back from Australia 2 years ago to look after his mum and become seriously ill and couldn't go back. My girlfriend sat with me from 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. as my slumber rolled like waves, ebbing and flowing. An excited surgeon came to see me. "Yes, your father-in-law was the first person to have this surgery 11 years ago," he espoused. "So quite a family tradition." Not one we're keen to keep going, Doc," I replied. After this, the specifics of my case were fully revealed. Apparently, Carmen had done a prison break for my prostate, and so the radical prostatectomy was radical. They'd cut a much larger area surrounding it in the hope to catch any of the sprinters. So, from the initial backward-facing description of not aggressive, then aggressive, to radical, all in all, Australia could have been my last holiday. It seems they cut a much larger section out of me than the norm. My seminal sacs had also been visited by Carmen and had to be removed, and the removed section had then been sent for further investigation. I had 6 holes in an arc across my lower abdomen, as if I'd been machine-gunned, so I looked like a victim of the St. Valentine's Day massacre. At this stage, I was not too aware of the various tubes attached and implanted in my body. As they had hinted I could go back the next day if I was doing well, I became determined to get out of bed as soon as possible. But what was this box hooked on the side of the bed? "It's your wine box," a nurse told me. Again, the drugs must have been working overtime. "Wine box?" "Yes," she continued. "We call it that. It's your catheter box. It goes from dark red to rosé, then clear, like wine," she added. Maybe she knew I was not that clever, but I did get the reference. "No chance of rum and coke, I suppose?" "If you pee that, you'll be straight back into surgery," she laughed. First action was to get out of bed and walk along the corridor. My wine box was secured to the pole with my drip bag on, and then I saw the bright blue tube that went under my gown and disappeared internally. The colour scheme was beyond my comprehension. I wondered if this was to ensure no mistaking it for the penis on removal. "I'm sorry, Mr. Snelders. We shouldn't have used the same colour as your skin. We appear to have ripped your cock off." Now, when these scenarios go through my head in silly accents and various connotations, it just makes me grin or laugh out loud, to which those around me is for no apparent reason. What makes matters worse is when I try to explain my lunatic thoughts to perplexed onlookers. I've been plagued with this happy affliction since I was about 5 years old, but I had my pretend friend then, and people would smile and comment on my cute imagination. So, anyway, me and Blue Boy take a leisurely stroll down the corridor.